You know, I've often said on this program, and I say it often throughout my normal day, that man must be judged by the backdrop of his time. Okay, are you with me? And a lot of that, of course, applies to verbiage, to simple words. And recently I used the word queer, and it was with regard to a situation. I said it was a queer situation. It wasn't talking about people, but it was taken out of context, and people said that I was a homophobic and I was all of these things. And I said, but that's not what I was talking about. So I just wanted to share the word queer with you. Are you ready? Here it comes. Okay, queer, the word queer, in the early 1900s, it was used for counterfeit money. The FBI always said, passing the queer. That was a regular term. It was used always. Counterfeit money, if you did it, you were a queer and you passed the queer. It was common stuff again. And then up into the 1950s, the word was used to talk about behavior. If you had queer behavior, that meant that you were a queer because you didn't act like other people acted. And then in the 70s or 80s, that word rolled over to the homosexual part. And again, you got to judge everything by the backdrop of its time. And today, it's queer behavior to call a homosexual person queer. You got all that? Just wanted to share with you from your wiser advisor, because I know stuff. Hey, in Canada, the CBC, that'd be the Canadian Broadcasting, or the Communist Broadcasting Corporation, that'd kind of be more like it. It gets $500 million of ad revenue a year. And now they're saying, we want people to enjoy us more because we're so wonderful, so we don't want ad revenue, and we want the government to give us $500 million a year in additional subsidy programs, so of course we can do without the ad revenue. And CBC, if you've ever watched it, the best part of it is the ads, right? Because they're just a bunch of goofs, and they take over $1 billion out of taxpayers' pockets every year. Government gives it to them, and recently they just gave them another $100 million for content creation. What is that? That's just another way to say corporate welfare. I mean, again, use your words properly, blah, blah, blah. But that's what it's about. CBC is outdated. Was it ever needed? Maybe, kind of, sort of, but it certainly isn't needed today. Taxpayers don't need a biased little extension of liberal government to go off and beak off all of the time like they do and pay them about $1.5 billion a year. So, of course, it makes no sense whatsoever. Talking about making no sense, here's a guy back in 2008 in Canada. That would be, well, it's not even 10 years ago, right? He was on a Greyhound bus. There's a guy sitting beside him. He didn't know him. He was a stranger to him. He killed him, cut his head off, and he ate him. Okay? And his name was Vince Lee. Murdered, beheaded, and cannibalized this person. So he went to jail. That's too bad. He should have been hung from the highest tree. I mean, like John Wayne says, give him a fair trial and hang him, right? I mean, that should have happened. But in any event, he went to jail. He's now been paroled without any conditions. He's a free man. He can walk around and do it again. He can do whatever he likes. I mean, wow. I'm out of words. There are no words for that. I mean, capital punishment, no kidding. Put him down. I mean, what's the difference? And there's a fine line between freedom of expression and a criminal act. I don't like a liberal. Okay, I don't, by the way. And so is that criminal? Is that a hate crime? There's a fine line here. And the liberals are pushing that agenda more and more because freedom of speech and freedom of expression, they want to make sure that we only talk like they want us to talk. So you can't say, I hate cabbage. Ugh, what do you mean? Put that cabbage in your mouth and be quiet. But it goes on, and they're using it constantly. So there's a fine line there, and we're going to have some pushback pretty soon, don't you think? Let me share this with you. Here's a cartoon capture, it's kind of cute. Sneaking into a country does not make you an immigrant any more than breaking into a house makes you part of the family. A lot of wisdom there. Hey, y'all come back tomorrow. We're going to have more for you from the right. See ya.